Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tracy and I am a girl with plans. In today's video, I'm going to be building my 2024 goal setting planner. Yes, you guys, I said building because I have a lot of parts that is going to go into what I hope is the perfect goal setting planner for me. I struggled with finding something that really worked in 2023. So I'm going to try a little bit of everything in 2024. So yeah, I have a lot of moving parts, but I hope it's not going to be too much, but we'll see. I have printables, I have guided journals, I have extension packs, I have bits and pieces from actual planners. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and pulled a cover and disc. I went ahead and put it on an extension disc because I think for this planner, I am going to be adding what I call my quote unquote adulting section to the back of my goals sections. I'm gonna have goals and adulting in the same planner, which is quote unquote as Franken planning. I'm not going to add that section to the planner today. I'll do that completely separate. But in my adulting section is where I have things like home projects, my finance section, any types of like beauty supply inventory and things like that all go in there. And like I said, I will have a separate video on that. But I figure a lot of things in my life, when it, involves goals, kind of goes hand in hand with that adulting section, like finances and stuff like that. So I figured this might be a good place to house it all, which is why I decided to go for the expander disc. And hey, this gold actually matches that pretty well. So yes, this is the guided journal cover. That was the goals guided journal cover. I'm not sure if it's still available. I will check to see, and if it is, I will link that down in the description box. And I have pulled the pieces from the journal out, so you'll be seeing that as I kind of merge that in with my goal planner. Now, for the sake of time, I've already added a folder, a page, and then I pulled, and I just realized these are not in a line. I'm gonna have to find a new quarter one. But I pulled dividers from both this guided journal as well as the one that I took this cover from to make quarterly dividers, because my main focus, I believe, in 2024 is not really going to be on annual goals, but rather quarter goals. I think I am going to assess myself at the beginning of the year to kind of see what I want to achieve that year, but I don't know if I want to set annual goals that I want to keep consistent throughout the year. I think it might be better for me to set quarterly goals. And if those quarterly goals remain the same all 4 quarters, great. But then it kind of gives me freedom to change them. Of course, you can change your goals anyway, but I just think this might work better for me. So yeah, that's why I have this. I have a quarter one and everything like that. I am going to add another divider. Here it is. So I'm going to add a brain dump divider. And just heads up, this brain dump is actually going to be probably the next video in this goal setting series. I definitely wanted to do more of a goal setting type thing. Instead of doing everything in one video, I wanted to like break it apart in a series. And the first part is going to be brain dumping. And that's why I'm also setting this up kind of early, because I want to start brain dumping kind of early. I want to start brain dumping by the middle of December. I'm going to start the process, but I'm not going to finish it when the video ends. I'm going to keep thinking on it and adding things to it. And then from there, I'll go into kind of working on figuring out or narrowing down things that I want to focus on in the goals world, things that I really want to achieve and things like that. It'll make more sense when I get to those types of sections. All right. And then I have this one, which you really can't see, but it says goals. I don't know if this is actually going to stay here or not. And then these filler pages actually came from that guided journal that I took the cover from. They have like blank pages in between their sections, and I just removed all of the blank pages to create my own. I feel like it kind of works well. All right, y'all. So now we are starting to build our sections, right? So we have my brain dump section, which I think is just going to be blank pages. And I think that's all I need for that one. Maybe not. So there's a couple of things. First of all, I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with Moxie Life. Moxie Life has like all of these like really great printables or downloads, however you want to do it, on their website. And at first I like started thinking about I was going to do their assessment. So basically the way Moxie Life works is they have categories. They have 8 categories. Where's the other page? They have 8 categories. So they have like personal, fun and rec, work and learning, family and relationships, health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, financial and physical environment. And then they have these like questions here, and then you give yourself a score. So, you know, I guess it's going to be a score from 1 to 8. I'm not sure. I haven't read all the instructions. And then they have an assessment wheel, and then you can color in it. I'm sure you've already all seen those. Now, their categories are very similar to a lot of other goal setting type programs. I have like researched this extensively. Well, not extensively, I'll just say a lot. So I've looked into Moxie Life. I looked into the Power Sheets, which is like Cultivate Your Life. And then there's a couple others that I looked into, and a lot of them are very similar. The one thing I was finding is a lot of their categories didn't really fit me per se. So like when I was just like looking at Moxie Life, you know, health and wellness definitely kind of works for me, but I think I want to break that apart. Spiritual and personal growth. I would say personal growth and personal are pretty much the same. So I don't really need a separate one. Financial, physical environment. Yes. Work and learning. That one that I really want to set goals for that. Fun and rec and family and relationships. I don't know. I just kind of want to do my own type of categories. Like these are general. These do work well for most people, but as I start thinking about it, I'm just not there. And then, like I said, I'm not going to read all of this because it'll take forever, but you can go to the Moxie Life website, and you do have to input your email address to get the free printables, but you can get this little assessment, and you also can print out their Wheel of Life. I didn't print it out because it's actually in color. Like the wheel is colored in, and then you highlight over it. And that was just too much ink for me. So I didn't do it. But as I was like looking at some of these questions, I'm like, the questions really don't apply to my life. So my assessment score is going to be a little off. So that's why I'm not going with it. Even though I printed it off, that's why I'm not going to go with it. I will say Passion Planner is another website. If you go there, they also have a lot of free printables. They're not necessarily goal-related printables, but they are pretty, they could help you as far as goal setting. So I definitely encourage you guys to like check things like that out. Now, the Go-Getter Girl Planner. I have a few of these. I love their planning system. The owner of Go-Getter Girl is also a life coach. So a lot of things in her planner systems are kind of that, it has like a basis of goals and with your daily planning. So like there's a section in here that's the dream section that has dream big creation, and just kind of ask these questions here that might get you brainstorming when it comes to like things that you might want to do. And I mean, there's some like, what part of your life are you settling in? What is something you want to work on in your life? Who are you? What footprint do you want to leave in this world? So there's just some kind of thought-provoking questions. So I think I actually want to remove this from here, as well as everything else in here. Here's some more goal creation type worksheets. So it has like 4 categories, but they're more general. And then your motivation and why, and your action steps and preparation. Then you have a letter to your future self, and then conquering limiting beliefs. So basically you kind of write down a fear or something, like a fear that's in your head that's holding you back from something, and then flipping that around. So having a more, I guess, positive, or yeah, like a positive spin on it. So like their example here is, I'm not good enough. I'm definitely going to fail. And the reality, if you flip it around, is I'm actually very capable, and people need what I have to offer. And then you have a roadmap, which is kind of like action steps for goal planning or just changing your life or reaching your dreams. And then this is me time creation, and I use that for the Go Getter Girl planner that I'm currently in. And what I did here was kind of like set my routine, my morning routine and evening routine. So I just kind of cut this in half. So yeah. So what I think I'm going to do is this is smaller than the Happy Planner Classic. So the cover is 7 by 9. But that means the pages are a lot smaller. And if I rip it, I'm scared that I'm gonna lose. Like, I literally need every inch of space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna snip it like this. Oh my gosh, my scissors. I'm embarrassed, guys, I'm sorry. I'm literally gonna go through and snip it like this with the scissors. And just so you know, these coil bound, like when you snip it, it almost comes like a Happy Planner because you can kind of put it back on if you want. Like you can just like pop it back on. But I'm going to go through and snip this entire section out, including this divider. Then what I'm going to do is to salvage the space, I am going to put washi tape over the area that had the coil. I don't know what you call that. The coil holes in it. And then I'm going to punch it so that way it is ready for my classic. I'll be back in a second. All right, guys, there we go. So I finished that. As you can see, I just, you know, you can't even really tell, but this also reinforces it. So I have that. I punched it. And I think this probably needs to go in brainstorming or brain dump. I guess it's more brainstorming, but brain dump was a label that I had available. All right, so see how small this is, how short it is? That's why I needed to salvage every inch that I had. And in addition, if I would have cut off and just like cut down where the coils were, then when I punched, it would have like taken off some of the writing, and I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we have all of that. Now, I will say Moxie Life does have some things here that are helpful. Like they have intentions. I don't want to do their annual goals. I do like this intention sheet. What I may do, all right, I think I'm gonna throw this for now in this goal section, but I think I'm gonna create my own version of this. So like, basically what I want to do is my plan is, and you'll see this in the second part, in the second video in the series where we talk about like actual planning my goals, is I'm going to brainstorm. So I'm going to do some of these activities just to kind of get my brain kind of thinking about my life and how to improve my life. And then I am going to literally do a mind map of just ideas in general, not necessarily goals, but just things I would like to do in 2024. And this is not necessarily something I want to do, but let's say skydiving. Like, that's not really a goal. I guess it could be a goal, but like, I'm literally going to put everything and anything on these pages. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like look back at that and kind of come up with, I guess, tangible goals or things that kind of can help me meet my overall life improvement, if that makes sense. Hopefully it will as we move forward in future videos. So like this, I might use, I don't know yet. Like they do have a place for word of the year. I will probably be doing a word of the year, and that will also go here. This is likely not going to stay in my planner because I'm either going to create my own version of this or I'm not going to do it at all. Again, this is just an insert that I printed from Moxie Life's free printables. So there we go. All right. So that's kind of like the prep. Like I said, I am doing everything by quarter. Again, all of these like dividers came from the Goals Guided Journal. Now I created my own dividers. I don't know why. I don't really need them now that I have these dividers. But they're all wrong images. A lot of times on wrong, if you sign up for her mailing list, if you sign up for certain things, or sometimes she just gives you free printables, and I just make dividers out of them. All right, so now we are in quarter one. I guess this is, I need to actually cut things down here too, because I have printed off a whole bunch of stuff. And this is where things get a little bit more complicated. Oh, that one was definitely a different color. That was a thicker. Now, I print my own printables. I print them on 32-pound paper, so it is a little bit thicker. It's kind of equivalent. It's like kind of equivalent to Happy Planner. I know it's at least Happy Planner, or if not stronger. I also have a more heavier duty one that I like use if I know I'm going to be doing like stamping or anything like that on it. All right, so what I'm about to show you now is something that I got from Adobe stock images. So unfortunately, that is, if you wanted to sign up for a free trial, which is what I did, and then I canceled after I got the 10 images I could get, you can always do that. But these are my monthly reflections. Let me grab the ones that I wanted for. Here we go. All right, so this is what I want for the front. Okay. So here is my Wheel of Life. I did not want any titles here. That's the reason why there are a lot of free printables. Just type in coaching, life coaching, Wheel of Life into your search bars, and a whole bunch of things pop up. And a lot of them you can print for free. This one, like I said, I got from Adobe stock. I had a free trial, and I was able to print it during that time. But otherwise, this is not something that you're just going to be able to find on Google. You're going to have to do something like that. And this came with it. So I'm doing my own Wheel of Life. I'm probably going to have sort of set categories, but just in case I wanted to change them, I definitely wanted to have the freedom to do that. And that's why I didn't pre-write them in here. And the other thing is all of the Wheel of Lives I found are not, they didn't, like there was always something that I didn't want, and then there was something that I wanted to add. So I just figured it was better with a blank slate. And then this was page 2, and it's like now and goal. I don't know how I'm going to interpret that. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to like look at my rating, figure why I'm maybe am there now, and why I'm there now, and like what I can do to improve upon that score. I need to cut these down, but then on the back it's going to start. This is either where I'm going to plan my goals for the quarter, or I'm going to do either 1 or 2 pages. I don't know yet. And then that will kind of lead into the month is my game plan. And then I created this for the front, because if you have a Wheel of Life, you do not need to do an assessment. If I put on here like physical health, then I can kind of rate like my physical health, which right now I would probably rate more of like a 4 or 5 because I've been eating like crap. I haven't been working out, etc., etc. But so if I did physical health here, I don't really need this type of assessment. And like I said, the Moxie Life assessment, which is perfectly fine. It's just the questions didn't fit me. So if these questions didn't fit me for like personal, it's, well, let's look at the one that really didn't fit me. See, I had another Wheel of Life printed out, but they just didn't really fit. There was just certain things that I kind of want to change out. This was like one of the closer ones until I just bit the bullet and went ahead and did a free trial of Adobe. But like personal, it's like my basic needs are taken care of. I generally feel happy and fulfilled. I have a positive attitude and outlook on life. I regularly take time for life planning, reflection, and self-care. There are hobbies and interests I engage in. So like when I think of personal, like I'm going to probably have my own mental health section. So I'm going to probably on my wheel, I'm going to have my own mental health section. So this could help with that, but there are other questions that I feel like I would rather use than those to kind of give me a true score. So, you know, I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. And I just created this based on things that I think can help me give me my score. So I'm going to create my categories here. I'm going to write what's currently working, where are improvements needed, and then my overall satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10. And then that's what I'm going to use to put here. And then I'm going to use this to determine, I'm going to just kind of jot down where I am now and why, and then my goal for improvement. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do the first quarter and the first month set up today. I'll do everything else off camera. But I'm going to take all of these and move it. I'm going to cut these down to size because what I did is I put all of these in Microsoft Word, when I printed them, and I actually sized the page in Microsoft Word down to 7 by 9.25. That's why it's scaled like it is. That way, all I have to do now is I still print it obviously on 8.5 by 11, but I just cut it down and it's pretty much, it's a lot easier. At least I think it is. All right, so those are cut down to size. Obviously didn't center that one, but I was trying to figure out the best way to do it. I was like, is it better to kind of have it off? Because I want it like this. I couldn't figure out when I was printing it if I wanted this opposite of this or this, and I kind of wanted it like this. Either way, I was gonna have to flip the page for part of it, so it's fine. Or I could have just used, put, I guess I didn't want to do 3 separate sheets. Never mind, I'm just rambling. Okay, so now I will put this here. And then I'm probably going to do another page here as far as just some regular, like another blank page. So that way I can kind of set my goals. And that's all I have for now as far as my quarterly setup. Now this may change, and we will see that when I get into January and we actually start working on setting goals. But right now, that is all I feel like I need. All right, so I've already pulled one of these out, didn't I? I thought I did. Whatever. Okay. So this is the Girl with Goals extension pack. Unfortunately, as I mentioned in my planner lineup video, this is no longer available. So you might be able to find it. I know it's available on Amazon. I will link it on Amazon down below, just because, you know, Amazon prices fluctuate. At the time of filming, it's like 20 bucks. But these are like, usually they're like $11.99 on the Happy Planner website. So that is definitely a lot more than what it was. But this is kind of like an hourly planner. It is an hourly planner, but it's set up a little bit differently. So this is undated. So you have your top priority list, you have your set goals for the month, your task, then you have your month of, and then here's your hourly. I don't know why I just said here you have their month of. I was just reading. And this is your hourly. And then you have, you know, this in between each week. So this is what I'm going to use to write down my weekly focus areas and my actual action plans. Now, I mentioned when I was talking about my goal planner, because I've actually have, you know, I had a goal lineup video, and then I had a video where I actually went over this planner and how I plan on using it. And during that video, I was like, I don't think I'm going to use this. But now I'm like, I think I'm going to try to use it. But I think I'm only try to use it for like goal setting. So it might be very bare. But I definitely can use these two sections. And then for the hourlies, I can kind of throw in certain things. So we'll see. Worst case scenario, I only need to use it for 1 week of the month and kind of do my ideal routine. You know how it's always good to kind of set like either a morning routine and an evening routine. I can always use one of these to like create a weekly routine for the month. Because for the most part, my schedule stays pretty consistent per season. Of course, there's always changes that can happen, but you know, just generally it's pretty consistent through the seasons. So here's another look at this whole kind of setup. And this is very unique to this particular extension pack. Other hourly extension packs do not have this in between each week. So that is unique. It just literally goes from week to week. So I am going to do some rearranging here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put, and I am going to be using the calendar. I think that's where I'm going to use to kind of write down anything goal related that's scheduled, or even use it as a tracker. This is where I'm going to get a little bit different. I am going to start doing some Franken planning, guys. All right, let's see. So, the back page has a blank page on the back, and on this side is upcoming projects. So I'm gonna put this up here. I think I did mention this in that one video about my goal planner. So now I have this here with this as an extra note sheet. And now we're gonna come to here. And this is where I'm gonna write out my monthly goals and action plans. So maybe I'll use this little block. I'll put a sticker so the hide project detail, and I'll write the goal, whatever it is, and then I'll kind of write the action plan to meet that goal. So that's what I'm gonna do. And even if I have 8 main goals, I probably have 8 categories, but I'm gonna have several goals probably within each category. I'm gonna try to limit to what those goals are per week, just so that way they're more manageable and more attainable. I'm gonna keep the task list here. This will be like a monthly task list, but I think that could be helpful. All right. Now is where I have to start thinking. I think what I'm going to do is, do I need 2 pages of task list? Because what, I kind of want one of these in the front. So like I want this in the beginning of my week. Yes, I'm being very, very picky and particular, but that's just kind of how I want it set up. Like I want this to be like my focus areas and action plans for the beginning of the week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe not. So could I tape this here? Let me grab some paper clips. I'm not going to tape it now. I don't know if there's a benefit of you guys watching me tape these pages together, but I'll just use my craft tape, go along the side. I'll probably use craft tape. I do have stick glue too. I have this. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could use it. I'm not sure how well it'll work. But yeah, so basically what I'm kind of wanting to do, so then it goes overall month, and then it goes to my week. So it'd be like week 1, and then I have my week 1 page. And then we come here, and I pull this one out. Do I want this one? I don't know. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Maybe I'll do this. Now I know what I was thinking. Here we go. Okay, so now we're gonna do, I have the extension pack sitting in my lap. Watch it just fall on the floor. So month, and then the task list, and then I can kind of like carry over whatever I want here. And then I have, here we go. Now we're getting into the week. Sorry, guys. So this came again from this guided journal. This guided journal. So this just says this week's big goals. Write a positive quote to follow this week. Important due dates this week, so help you accountable. List 3 things that can help you achieve these goals. List 3 things that inspire you. Write about some milestones from last week. So I have that here. So then I'll write down kind of the goals I want to focus on with the action plans. And now we turn it to the week. And now we go to the next week. Another journaling page. Followed by that one. And then that makes sense. Can't tell, I'm really trying to incorporate this guided journal in here. So So these all kind of change. So this is like today's task. This is obviously going to be changed to weeks. So it's going to be like this week's task. Write an encouraging message to yourself. One thing that you're grateful for. List 2 lessons you learned this week. So I think this is what I'm going to use for just general journaling. I gotta think about this because now I have a lot of pages. I'm gonna put all these in. I have a lot of pages. Like, do I really need 8 boxes? I don't know. Do I really need, you know, all these journaling prompts in between each week? I don't know. So it's just something I have to like think about a little bit. I think I'm just getting excited by having the ability to do this. I like extension packs that give you the freedom to kind of write a little bit in here. All right, so now that we've done that, we are going to do the very last insert, which is this one. Again, the same wheel, because I do want to do this at the end of every month. So at the end of every month, I'm going to just evaluate where I am, and then I have my monthly reflection. So I think I might do this first with that on the back. I don't think it matters for like cutting, but it's going to matter for when I punch it. So that is pretty much going to be my setup. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to put the next 2 months in here, and then I may or may not put Q2 in here already, just because I do want to have the other space. But let's just do a quick refresh. So I just have a folder there to hold stuff. This is going to be my brain dump. So I added the little sections that I cut out from my Go-Getter Girl planner, which is just some kind of like brainstorming and reflecting on what you want to get out of your life and what kind of goals you want to reach, things like that. And that is going to directly lead to my brainstorming, which we would do a separate video of that. Ooh, look. I had another guided journal page mixed in with there. I probably need to add some of these pages over there, because I think what I'm going to do when I brainstorm is I'm going to kind of come up with sections and do like a section per page. So like personal growth and then brainstorm. All right. And then that leads us to the goals. Right now I have the printable from Moxie Life in there. I probably will take that out. I have nothing else but filler paper in there. All right. And then we go to Q1. So Q1, I have my starting point. This is where I'm going to list the categories that I do that my goals fit into. It's kind of pretty much how I'm going to do it. Instead of fitting my goals into categories, I'm going to create categories that my goals will fit into. So I'm going to have my categories. I'm going to write kind of what's currently working in my life in regard to kind of like those categories and what needs improvement. Again, health was a good example. And then overall satisfaction, like how satisfied am I with that particular category in my life? And then I'm going to take that number and transfer it here. I will write down all of that and probably use some pretty colors. We'll probably do that on camera as well. And then from that, I'm going to kind of jump over to here. Again, kind of reiterate where I am now, which is going to be a summary of these two. So I'm not really going to be repeating it. I'm just going to be kind of taking these two together and then just writing. Obviously, I don't have a lot of space. So I'm just going to write a quick summary. And then when it says goal, instead of writing the number, like I don't know if the intention here was to write the number, but I think I'm going to write the goal of where I want to be. And then, you know, the number is just like a numeric scale about have I improved or not. I'm probably going to go ahead and add another sheet of just blank paper here, so that way I can actually do a quarterly goal spread. And this will lead us to January. And this is my Girl with Goals extension pack, which is undated. So of course, as you saw, I did move things around. So this is kind of where I'm going to do more of my pre-month brainstorming. So I've set my goals for the quarter. My plan is that this is where I start thinking about things that I really, really need to focus on for the month. So out of those quarterly goals, which ones need a little special attention when it comes to the month? And what I mean by that is, obviously I can say with ease that one of my goals is probably going to be read. You know, I really hadn't read for years. And I just started picking up on that again and really like found the joy in it. And so instead of watching TV, I've been reading a book. But I don't really know that I need to like kind of set that as a focus goal for the month. It will be a quarterly goal. I will be tracking how many books I read, how often I read, stuff like that. But that's the kind of stuff that can be tracked here. I won't be using that here to kind of focus on, if that makes any sense. However, when you have your top priority list, that may be something that is kind of jotted down, but it's not really going to have an action plan unless I say, I want to read for at least 15 minutes every day. That could be an action plan for that. We'll see. All right. So like I said, I'm going to hide this. And this is going to be kind of my monthly goal breakdown. The project details, that's going to be removed. The numbers, I'm not going to pay attention to it. So that gives me room for 10. However, that just kind of gives me extra space. I don't have to write 10. I don't even need 8. I can do 6. I can do 4. We'll kind of see what's going on. Obviously, probably at the beginning of the year, it's going to be a little bit more than the end of the year, or it could just be based on what's going on in my life. It might not even be anything like that. But you know how we are so like gung-ho at the beginning of the year when we get everything done. Okay. So they had the task list, which was a 2-page task list. I inserted this journal page here, which is blank on one side, and then it has these journal things on the other side, because this is going to be at the end of the monthly section. So this is going to mark the end of me looking at the month as a whole, and now we are going to go into the week. This is now, so I've already done quarter 1, and then this little section is like, okay, how are we going to work toward this month? And then this is where I'm going to start breaking those monthly goals now down further into more weekly action plans. I don't want to say weekly goals, more weekly action plans. And I do want to incorporate journaling into it. We'll see how well it goes. And that's the beauty of a disc-bound system. I can just tear them out if I don't want to use them. All right, so right now, I'm not sure how many of these like little quad box pages I'm going to need. If I need another one, I'll just add another one to it and figure out how to maneuver that in. That might be a fun January project when I do my actual January goal setting. And you will definitely be seeing that on camera. All right, and then that leads us to the first week. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the first week. I just don't know if it's going to be more of, hey, this is my ideal week, or if I'm actually going to be planning goals out in it. All right, so then again, you have now your 8 quads here. Right? No, not 8 quads. It's 2 quads. Your 2 quad pages here. And then I put this journal one in between, which what I could always do is I could always say this one was for this week with this journaling page for this week. But I just rather have this kind of be an introduction to this, if that makes any sense. We'll see. Obviously, if I'm not going to use these, I might, I don't know. We'll see. But basically, I want at least 4, if not 8 per week. And then, of course, like I said, I just threw that in there. What I could always do is journal about these 4 here, and then these, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be definitely a work in progress. Same thing for the next week. And then that's it. No. They just keep going on and on. And that's it. So then this was the back page, and then the official back page was here, and then I had moved that to the front. So then I did my last printable insert, which on this insert, I did a monthly reflection. This was a page that I got a few years ago from a printable planner off of Etsy. It was a printable goals planner. You could probably find things like this similar online as well, possibly for free. However, as you can see, if you are even a little bit knowledgeable with Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you may be able to create something like this yourself and print it out. Or you can just put a blank sheet of paper in here and just write it here, or even like these quads. If you have this same thing, you can kind of use these prompts to write here. Just use the prompts. Just use the prompts. So that is also an alternative. It just says, how was the month, the highlights of the month, the challenges, what went well, what to do more of, what to do less of. And then you start planning for next month. What do you want to start? What do you want to continue? What do you want to stop? Obviously, I've never used this before, even though I've had it for a while. So this might require an extra journaling page that I'll add in here. We'll see. This is going to be a trial and error. And then, of course, I wanted to have another one of my I guess you can still call it like a compass assessment or my life wheel on the back, so that way I can kind of judge how the month went. I'm not going to do it at the beginning of next month because obviously what is here is there. With that said, no, well, that's fine. Because I would say my goals technically can change from month to month too, or my focus changes from month to month. But this is all I'm going to do right now. It's just too much. I got to get into it. So obviously there probably will be changes, but this is kind of how I am visualizing starting out, at least with my goals planner. So that is it. What I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to go ahead, repeat the same exact little lineup thing for the next 3 months. I may go ahead and put Q2 in here as well, just because of the huge expander disc. And then there will be a final video, well, not a final video, but there will be a video. That one will probably be closer to the beginning of the year. Well, I will show you the extra section that I put in here, because this is a big planner and I'm trying to condense my planners. So my plan is to have my goals planner, which is going to be probably pretty much more than half the planner. And then I'm going to add my adulting section, which is my finance, my chores, my house projects, and stuff like that into here. That's all inserts, with the exception of a calendar page to keep track of my bills. All right, guys, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was insightful. Maybe it could help you figure out how to organize your goals. At minimum, it may have given you some resources to try out, like looking at the Moxie Life printables that are available on the Moxie Life website, or printables from the Passion Planner, or just Google searching some printables or some ideas and doing some like DIY type pages. As I said, this is only the first video in the goal setting series. I'm going to have another one coming up probably soon now, where I'm going to start brainstorming some goals, and then that will be followed by another video where actually setting goals. And then to wrap that up is when we will get into Q1 in January. So yeah. All right. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. That is all I have for now. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.